Smoke Pluming from the Woods by Reflexion.
Part 4.
I wanted to hear his plan, but I really hoped it was going in a different direction from what I was thinking. Now I want to make this clear before anything else. I'm going alone, and you boys need to sit tight and do as I say. My heart dropped, plunging into the stone-cold sea of despair. Are you crazy? No, I have to go with you. Grandpa cut me off, shushing me. As I say, he commanded. I knew he was right, but in the face of loss, my thoughts wrestled against the idea. Okay, now I'm gonna call you when I'm a ways off, alright? You have to pick up and stay on the call with me. It's vital you keep your attention on my voice. I need both of you to be brave for the next part. I need you to make as much noise as you can. Martin's eyes bulged in fear. Won't that get us killed? Haven't finished. That's only up until I call you. When I do, you shut up, and you hide in the darkest corner of this cellar, okay? I was heaving for breath now, cold beads of sweat budding on my forehead. But I closed my eyes and stilled myself. Yeah, okay. Good. Once we're connected, I'll start. We were silenced by a single, muffled thump from overhead, so forceful that the ceiling spewed cement down upon us. Then another thump, and another, and another. I fell off my perch in shock when a booming crash sounded from above, chased by the clattering of rubble. The steady thuds drew nearer, louder, till the only sound was that of the floorboards groaning under immense weight. I looked over to Grandpa, who looked over to me, and whipped a finger to his lips. I nodded, then slowly turned towards the basement hatch. The beast was trying its best to move silently. A stifled whimper escaped my lungs as I saw the hatch buckle. A loud bang shook the house's foundations, then nothing. In the silence, I could make out the beast's ticking growl. It was toying with us, trying to catch us out, make us think we'd been foiled so we'd burst out in a panic and try to flee. Its intelligence terrified me so much, more than its grotesque appearance. It tried to bait us a few more times, before huffing angrily. The heavy creaks grew distant until we could no longer hear it, aside from the single crash of a fallen tree somewhere outside. I stood up, eager to set this plan into motion, only to be dragged back down by a firm grip on my arms. My eyes fell to meet my grandpa's, looking at me with a wide-eyed scowl. "Sit down," he hissed. "Not yet. Bastard's clever. Probably waiting at the tree line, watching for us to come out." The three of us sat in silence, ears attuned for even the slightest noise to indicate its presence. After an excruciating wait, Grandpa rose to his feet and crept over to the ladder. He scaled it, wincing at the creak of a rung, then pushed open the hatch ever so slowly. The rug that had been above was tattered, torn fragments slipping down into the now open space. He peeked out from side to side, checking rigorously that we were safe. As he pressed his hand upward, what sounded like a broken tile was disturbed, clattering to the floor above us. Grandpa froze in place, visibly tensing. Creak! The heavy step, followed by the guttural rattle I prayed to God I wouldn't hear, forced Grandpa into action. He pushed himself off the ladder, tucking and rolling to the floor right before the hatch was slammed by immense force, cracking it and warping the hinges. Grandpa got to his feet, adrenaline far outpacing his old age. He glanced around wildly at the floor before looking up at us with newfound determination. "Ah, shit, damn it. Change of plans, Martin. Distracted. Make some noise. Cal, give me a leg up to the window." Martin's jaw fell open, and his breathing quickened. "Fuck," he yelled, pressing fingers into his temples. But to his credit, he turned toward the hatch and started up a racket straight after. "Come get it, you fucker, you ugly sack of shit." When Martin was busy cussing out the chimney beast, Grandpa and I hurried over to the window and braced myself in a kneel. Fingers locked together, forming a foothold where he planted a foot. 1, 2, 3. I heaved him up, holding my posture while he unlatched and swung the window open. My body was already tired from running away, and Grandpa was heavier than he looked. Still, I hauled him up further until he was out past the waist, and he pulled himself out into the hazy night. I kept my focus on him as he turned around, refusing the urge to look as I heard claws cleaving away ravenously. "All right, I'll be calling in a minute," he panted. "When I do, tell Martin to zip it. Love you, bud." "You too, Granddad." My words latched onto him, fueling a forgotten instinct that slammed his heels into the forest floor and sent him sprinting into the trees, fading until he was merged with the dark itself. I was grounded again when Martin let out a shriek, and I turned to see him backpedaling from those spindly claws extending through the jagged hole that was once the hatch. A thick trail of blood smeared from him as he shuffled back in the same crimson that slicked one of the titanic claws. "You got me. Oh God, it hurts!" he cried, flipping over and resorting to a belly crawl towards me. I rushed over and dragged him as far away as I could, but he flopped to the floor in shock when I released my grip. His calf was a mess of exposed, glistening flesh and bone, sliced through like warm butter. His mouth hung half open, but without a sound, so I rushed to build a cacophony in his place. It was booming as I tried to make myself sound. I devolved into whimpering shouts. The beast's arms had reached almost halfway across the room. The beast's arms had reached almost halfway across the room, yet it still slithered further and further through the broken hatch. Claws, tick, tick, ticking around in search of our flesh. Backed up into the furthest corner alongside Martin, the monster's hand grew closer. Slowly, agonizingly so. I only became aware of the incoming call from the vibration in my jacket pocket. It felt as if somehow safety lay in the act of answering my grandpa's call. My hand shot into my pocket and yanked the phone out, fumbling with the touch screen and picking it up. "Granddad? It's so close. It's about to get us. Do something, please." I wailed into the phone. Instead of a reply, a loud crack rang through the night. And then the phone. The beast's arm lurched backwards, freezing for a moment, before it tore out from the basement, peppering the floor with wood fragments. As simple a sound it was, I recognized it. His Black Hawk. He'd taken it with him. I don't know when he picked it up. He may have had it on him the entire time. Out the window, I saw the hulking silhouette barrel into the trees at speeds rivaling my Jeep in fifth. I jumped when I heard Grandpa abruptly begin shouting over the call. The words are indiscernible, blending in with the scuffled sounds of movement. I took the moment to take off my jacket, then my t-shirt, which I pulled tightly around Martin's upper calf as a tourniquet. "Hey Kel," Grandpa said over the phone, sounding hollow and tinny. "Make sure you keep up your aerobics. It sure as shit doesn't get easier in these years." I let out a half-hearted chuckle. "I will. I want to go hiking through these woods with you. Camping, surviving off the hunt. I know you do. God, I do too," he said, stifling a sob. "You're gonna have to stay strong for your ma, okay? There ain't no chance I'm getting out this time. But you are. You two are." I broke down then, thick, watery streams lining my cheeks. "I'm going to miss you. So much, Granddad." But we had some good times. Amazing times, no? I sure as hell did. And well, this is a pretty badass way to go out, right? An unfamiliar comfort swelled up inside me, almost breaking through the tears. Yeah. Alright, I'm here. The smudge. No idea what I'll find through there. I could hear the thundering beast across the call as it gained on him. Its clicks and rattles, too. I'm going in. Promise me one thing, though. Anything, Granddad. You be a good kid. And you make my daughter proud. That's all. A bizarre noise came from the phone speaker, something akin to the sound of a stone sliding across a frozen lake, followed by a splash that seemed to kill all noise.